Welcome back to Harry and the Hendersons. My name is Jacob Ferguson, and today we're going to be talking about All Stars 10, Episode 11. The Queens had to do a talent show, and Category in the Runway was foiled again. Um, we got a lot to talk about between the drama that happened in the workroom today, before the talent show, as well as the talent show and the looks. As well as the lip sync and all that jazz, and who I think is actually going to be in the wild card bracket. So let's go. I know I look a mess right now. I have not taken a shower since yesterday. I mean, it's only 10:25 a.m. and I got up around 8. So I mean, I've already eaten breakfast and fed my cats and scooped their litter boxes, and were they grateful for it? Were you grateful for it, Marcy? She just did a kitty flop. Yep. She found herself a little sunspot, which usually she wouldn't get, but since she decided to, Picasso my blinds over there, she can now get sun through the window. Also, she threw up on my carpet. And I have this Jackson Galaxy spray that I sprayed on it and tried to get it up. But it's stained because you were a horrible creature whose bodily functions have destroyed half of my house. Quit eating my box spring. Marceline, stop. Get off that. No, ma'am. Eating my damn box spring like it's a Caesar salad. Go eat your food. And don't even think about touching my toilet bowl. Sorry. Kids, am I right? These past couple of nights, Seashell has been sleeping with me, which has been great because she is the bestest girl. Look at her. She's so precious. She's a nice little kitty cat. I don't know why I took those images. I'm saying that they're not like bad images. They're just like, when you like set your phone down and then it like randomly takes a picture. It was one of those things. Yeah, Seashell is she's a good girl. Though I hate the fact that those two always argue with each other. Like, Seashell was trying to sleep with me last night, and then Marcy jumps up on my bed and tries to attack her. And I have to wake up, and I gotta stop dreaming, and I gotta, break them up. And it always inevitably means that Seashell has to get down and go back to her room. Because she can't enjoy anything because of Marceline. I love Marceline. I love the fact that she's a kitty cat and that she sleeps with me and all that sort of stuff. She's adorable. But she's needy. Maybe Denali should have played my cat in her challenge. Maybe then she would have won. Let's talk about the workroom stuff. So, Queens enter the workroom and start talking about Cynthia. Not much, though. Cynthia kind of was here and then she wasn't. They kind of said, okay, well, she's gone now, so let's talk about something else. I feel really bad because Cynthia she made it into the merge. That was a big thing for her. But Mistress is kind of like over it a little bit. Like, she just doesn't care at this point. And I think it's that attitude that kind of formed the remainder of the episode. Aja's in her feels, Mistress is in her feels. I don't feel anything for this season anymore. I mean, look, I saw this tweet and I agree with it. It says that despite the fact that the merge is not necessarily going well, All Stars 10 has provided more drama than All Stars 8 and 9 combined. And I honestly think that this is the best season of All Stars to come out of the past, the modern era of Drag Race. I always think that 14 kind of was the cutoff for this new All Stars type shenanigans. Like the modern era has been 15, 16, and 17. And I really do feel like with All Stars included with that, it was really All Stars 7 that was the cutoff. And oh, ooh, ooh, gross. I'm a gross man, apparently. Okay, it's nothing. Um, it was kind of cut off of like what we consider to be modern Drag Race, at least in the Americas. I think that with UK Drag Race, I would say that season 6 has been the start of modern Drag Race on there, because I remember it more than I do season 5. Is that shade? Maybe a little bit. Sorry. I like Kate Butch though. She's great. Next week's gonna be my last YouTube video for maybe a little bit, unless, of course, I can come up with concepts and stuff to do. I enjoy doing stuff like this, and maybe I will. Maybe I will start talking about like my one of my goals is to start talking about like production and stuff of Drag Race, because I find production really interesting, and it actually helps inform a lot of reality show decisions. Like in wrestling, I think I've talked about this before, but it bears repeating. I watched the Royal Rumble with my brother, and you know that wrestling is all staged. Like, the storylines are fabricated, all this sort of stuff. And all of them are actors and all that jazz. And so I predicted correctly. I was looking around for a napkin because I could feel it coming and I couldn't find one. I correctly predicted the winners of both, which were Charlotte Flair and Jey Uso, I think it was. Charlotte was because she came in and was like the legacy person. She was Ric Flair's daughter, and as well as just, I mean, if you have Charlotte Flair in your cast, you want to have her win. It makes the most sense. And with Jey Uso, the thing about that was that it was him or John Cena. I was stuck between the two because John Cena is a legacy person. Obviously, they want to have him succeed. But Jey Uso was in a bunch of commercials. Like, everybody was chanting his name. He's like one of the most popular wrestlers right now. It would make sense that he would be, he would win, and he did. So, in Drag Race helped me with that because I'm like, oh no, see, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to, put more people into certain spots and create this narrative. And Drag Race helped me with that because I was like, yeah, like with Anya and all of them, they were trying to set up storylines and stuff. And I feel like the storylines of this season have been kind of good. I want to do a thing of what if this season was like All Stars 9 and only had 8 queens. And the thing about it is, I also think that it would have been a great season if that was the case because of Mistress. The thing about it is that no matter which way you put it, Mistress makes good TV. And I could not imagine this season without her. As much as I hated her personality, I could not imagine this season without her. And I love her for that because she made this season better TV than the Kumbaya shit that was last season. And I think that they wanted Roxy Andrews to pop the fuck off, but she never did. So as a result, the 8 queens there were just kind of, Kumbaya, my lord. Lord, or Bahu Dores Bahu. You know, that way Chanel will get that reference. She knows Christmas. But, you know, it was kind of like, okay. That season was cute, but it really wasn't, like, cunty. This season is cunty. Let's talk about the drama between Aja and Mistress. Okay, listen, hindsight is 2020. I could come in here and I could blast Mistress to filth. I could. But they make up like 5 minutes later. Right? So it's not that serious. That being said, I think that Mistress's choices of words in this fight were not necessarily the best. Especially with saying somebody in your position after Aja basically told them how hard it was being a trans woman, a black trans woman, in this time of, in this age. I don't think that that was what she necessarily meant, but I'm not trying to defend that, you know? Like, she said what she said. She and Aja had a cute little argument. And here's the thing. I would have loved to see Aja pop off. I would have loved to see it come to turn into Bad Girls Club real fast. But I'm glad it didn't, because it would have resulted in one of them being either ejected from the competition, and it would have tarnished both of their reputations. So I'm glad that Aja kept it classy, and I'm glad that Mistress kept it classy, because both of them could have just as easily been coming to blows. And the thing about it is that Mistress, she doesn't take it serious. I think that's that's the difference between Aja and Mistress. Mistress lives for the drama. This is her bread and butter. She is Conflama. Remember Farmer Rusical? Of course you don't. Nobody does. I need them to bring that back as kind of like a documentary about what went wrong in Farmer Rusical. I think that would be fun. Like a Who Killed Little Pound Cake type scenario. Remember that? And it's like people that took the medications in there, and it's all of them like complaining and stuff. Like there's a woman with a really big ass, and she goes like, "It's destroyed my marriage." And then there's like the relatives of the old lady who took Trovada, and she's dead now. And they're like, she kept on referencing Zendaya. We couldn't get her to stop, but she invited Zendaya to her funeral. Like, that would be hilarious. I could talk about like that idea. Put me on as a writer. I feel like some of these people, they're like, oh, we'll just like throw in some Drag Race references. Where's the John Mulaney of the Drag Race writing universe? You know? I know Dave Chappelle's really like problematic, but if you've seen the Aunt Jemima skit that they did on SNL, he wrote that skit and it was freaking hilarious. I mean, like, we need more people like that on Drag Race to, do something. I know it's stupid. I know that they're doing these challenges and they always have to reference like tucking and all this sort of stuff, and ooh, get those nuts away from my face. But it's like, come on now. We can do better. Put me in as a writer. I want to write for Drag Race. I want to be a story producer. Make me a story producer on Drag Race. I would know how to get a queen to a top 4. I'd say be mean, but also be smart. Like, the thing about it is, and I'll talk more about it, I guess 2 weeks from now after the season is aired and we do the what if the queens had a top 8, Mistress would lie, cheat, and steal her way into the top 3. There's no way that Mistress doesn't make top 3 in the 8 scenario. And that's a spoiler alert for that video. I will have it done once the season airs, which, by the way, Georges and Ginger are not on that season. I decided to cut both of them, which is a good thing because, honestly, I fear that this is a setup for either one of them to win. And I'm fine with that. But I feel like they're either going to try to right the wrongs. They're trying to right wrongs here. They're trying to give Ginger a crown that she should have won on Season 7 or All-Stars 6. And Georges the crown that she lost on All-Stars 9. And here's the thing: I didn't really truly believe that Georges won the crown on All Stars 9, and Ginger, I understand why she lost both times, um, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. First, we gotta get to this week's Maxi Challenge, which is a fucking talent show. I hate the talent shows. Cause it's always, Beautifly and the Blowfish and the amazing original songs. And then you have some person who's like, and I'm gonna do stand up. And it's sit down. And I hate that. The only person to have ever been successful at stand up on a talent show has been Darian Lake. And all that jazz. Love Darian. Love Darian, actually. Put her back on. Remember when the, entirety of this season was, speculating who was actually going to be on it, and Venus from Canada's Drag Race and Darian Lake were supposed to be here? I would live to see Darian Lake again. Because it's Darian Lake. Fabulous. Anyway, we get the... They should just call it Write an Original Song and perform it on stage instead of a talent show. Because everybody except for... Nope, everybody is doing an original song. Every single person is doing an original song. Some of them have elements of, Broadway added to them. Some of them have, eggs. Some of them are doing, more of a spoken word, but still, it is just a performance. It is not a... There's no Chanel throwing knives. Which I really think would have spiced shit up, and I would have gagged to see. Everybody's done a talent show before, so I am going to be ranking their talent shows based on their original talent shows. And the queens that have done this 3 times... We're going to talk about them. So we're going to do the winners, and then we're gonna rank them from best to worst. Starting with my winner and everybody else's winner, Bosco. Category is foiled again on the runway, but before we get to that, let's talk about Bosco. So she did a burlesque original number. And I have to say, this was absolutely fierce. She sold it on the runway. She sold it, on the stage. She was able to combine, this rotating stage with, some bins and stuff like that. She was fabulous. I think that with her facial feminization surgery, as well as just everything else that she's been doing to better herself, she has gotten so much more confident than her original season. Not to say that she wasn't confident on her original season, but she was a bit cocky. And I love her, but she was a bit cocky on her original season. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Bosco, I believe, made top 5. She should have been the 5th person out. And I love Bosco. And I'm so glad that she's here. But she was 5th out on her original season. You cannot tell me otherwise. But she did great here. And I understand why lesbians love her so much. Almost to a weird amount, though, and I don't like that. But let's talk about her runway. This is dripping in chrome and silver, and this hair, this Happy Birthday, Mr. President hair, mixed with the red lip and the blue eyeshadow. It is immaculate. I love this so much. If you take away the coat, it is just a dress, but it is a gorgeous dress. And I think, I know that may be a human hair wig. I don't know, but it's so shiny. It's hairsprayed to the gods. And Oh my god, it is fabulous. It is going to be a cream and also a cream for her performance. Up next, Jean Germinge. So Ginger did a Broadway performance number reminiscent of the movie Gypsy, and it was the movie Gypsy because it was the Bette Midler hair. She does Bette Midler in her acts sometimes. She was the Bette Midler stand-in for Hocus Pocus 2 during the One Way or Another thing, which, by the way, Hocus Pocus 2 is cunt. Love that. I need them to release the soundtrack of Hocus Pocus 1, though. I need to listen to I Put a Spell on You without it being a cover of the original from the movie. I know that the original one's a cover of the oh, I forget her name. She's fabulous. Nina something. Simone, maybe? Nina Simone? I probably have that wrong and I apologize. By the way, last week I said that Zaza Gabor was in a animated film. It was her sister, Ava Gabor, who played Duchess in the Aristocats. I knew it was a Gabor, but I didn't know if it was Zaza or Ava. It was Ava. Talking about Ginger Minge, though, this was amazing. If Bosco hadn't been so... If Bosco's runway hadn't been the best, Ginger would have won for me tonight. As it ranks, Bosco's ranked higher than her original season. As this one ranks... Yeah, this was her best performance of... in a talent show. Followed by All Stars 2 and then All Stars 6. All Stars 6 wasn't bad by any means, and I actually really enjoyed Gummy Bear. But the problem is that other people didn't. So, but yeah, this was fabulous. I loved the reference to the frog. I loved the reference to the dog. Loved the reference to the to just her being a Broadway queen. One of my favorite Ginger Minge performances of all time is I Am What I Am, when she sang it for Harvey Fierstein. If you haven't seen that performance and you hate Ginger Minge, I need you to go watch that performance, and then you may start to understand why people love her so much and why it's such a shame that there was a level of, hey, Marcy, we do zoomies someplace else. We don't do them in the bathroom. Okay? Please, no more zoomies in bathroom. Zoomies go over there. Don't look at me like you're about to attack me. I will put you outside. And you haven't been outside since you were small. So don't do it. Don't do it. Marcy. Hey. Stop. Ain't no saving her. Marcy, may I have some oats? Okay, bye. No more zoomies in the back. Whatever. Anyway, Ginger Minge. What was I talking about? Oh, she was great. Loved her. I feel like everybody's doubting Ginger Minge, or everybody hates Ginger Minge, and I don't understand why. Like, show her some love. Obviously, like, she's done 3 separate things for the talent show. I mean, all of them have been original song, but she's done 3 separate original type songs. I can't say that for some of your favorites, so let's go to her runway. This is my problem with it. I love it from here up and here down. I don't like the sleeves. I agree with LaRoche on the sleeves. I also think that mayhaps the Nude Illusion could have gone down a bit further, or instead of the hood, it could have been like an outline of... Marcy! Quit being evil. Spooky. Anyway, uh, bring down the nude illusion a bit further, mayhaps. Or bring it up more, because I can see the pelvis. I think it would have been cool if it was just the ribs. But this is a cream. I enjoyed it. Next up, and controversially so, but I don't care, Irene the Alien. I should have put Georges before Irene. Let's do Georges first. Let's talk about Georges. So her thing was good. I enjoyed her talent show, but the problem is, Mama, we've seen it already. We've seen you do acrobatic trip splits. You got thrown across the stage last season. Like, we've seen it. So why are you doing it yet again? And the turkey does make me want to Vogue, but also, like, it's a bit tiring at this point, because I'm like, okay. And we've seen you doing your little dancing and all that sort of stuff for 3 seasons now. And I have to say that this one was not as good as last season. All Stars 9's was obviously the best of her performances. Here, you. Go that way. Thank you. But I'm not really living for her performance this season. It's going to be a cream just because it was a good performance, but I think that Georges could have done a hell of a lot more than what she did. Her runway, on the other hand. So everybody knows I'm a fan of The Wiz. This is giving me like Lena Horne in The Wiz with the stars and all of that. Like, it is fabulous. And I know she's not black, so the Lena Horne thing is kind of like, But, like, doesn't this kind of remind you of, like, Glinda from The Wiz a bit? This look is fabulous. It is a disco, like, goddess moment. I don't agree with LaRoche that she looks cheap, though I will say that this is probably, like, the best that Georges has looked on the main stage in a bit. Yeah, this look is a cream. Let's talk about Irene. Irene the Alien. Her performance reminded me a lot of James's performance on All Stars 8. The I have these type shenanigans. And the reason it did is because they're showing you what they can do. You know, they're making fun of what they have done in the past, and they're doing it more. And that's why I liked Irene's so much, is because she did a parody of the making the ice water, but also like connected it to everything else that she was doing. And I have to say, she was fabulous. This look is a cream. This performance is a cream. On the runway, it is also a cream. This look is fabulous. It is the same thing that Susie Toot did with her little shop thing, where she had the arms down at her side, and then her actual arms were, you know, like the plants, and the feather moment with this Valkyrie inspired like goddess moment. It's just fabulous. And Irene's runways have been the best out of everybody's this season. She is a cream. Let's talk about Aja. Aja's performance was a reference to her. I did not get a good picture of Aja, by the way. It was a reference to her religion, and I'm blanking on what the religion is. What I liked about it was that she was doing more ballroom voguing shenanigans, as well as just like being fabulous, which I always love. The issue for me is I lost sort of the plot of it, like the religion aspect of it. She said that there was going to be chanting, and I didn't really get that out of the performance. Though I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I saw. She danced with that machete like nobody's business. okay. Yeah, okay. She's got her little toy. Hi. But yeah, it was a great little performance number. It's a cream, definitely, especially since she has connected it so much into who she is as a person. That's great. And I love that LaRoche could not talk about how they had met previously on the runway. You know, because she was on Legendary with LaRoche as one of the guest judges. In fact, she got sent home by LaRoche. Because their house didn't win. Kiona was also on Legendary at one point. I think she was on Revlon. I don't know if they won or not. I don't think they did. But yeah, Aja did great. The runway, though. It looks good, but we've seen it before. Does that make sense? Like, this, it looks good, but all it really is a chrome bodysuit with, like, these knife things and all of that. She kind of looks like Freddy Krueger, which I enjoy, but it's kind of like, okay. I mean, it's a good look, but it's not necessarily pushing the bar of what it means to be foiled again. It's a cream, but again, we've kind of seen it before. Let's talk Daya Betty. And the reason I put her as low is just because, why not? A. B. The runway look. Now, her performance wasn't bad, but it was definitely better than her original performance that she did in the talent show. Which, by the way, Aja's first talent show was definitely better than the one that we just had. And Irene's was definitely better than the one that she did previously. But I really wish that it had more of what Daya Betty was trying to do. She was trying to push the envelope. And I don't think that we've had any queens that were as, like, metal or dangerous as Daya on at least the US season. The UK season, we had Crystal, who, sawed at her crotch with the, like, power tool. But with Daya stapling stuff to herself, I really wish there was more of that. I really wish that maybe it was a, like, shock value type situation. Because to me, if Daya wants to do that, then do it. Like, push that envelope. But I don't really get, like, working girl, like, punk girl from her thing. I think there was a lot of ideas, and if she had just focused on one, I think it would have worked a lot better. This is going to be a crunch. And on the runway, I have to say, I'm sorry, but this is a crunch. This looks like somebody who goes home first on Dragula trying to do some sort of filth challenge or punk grunge challenge. I mean, she looks okay, but I don't like that the duct tape and the bottom piece are the exact same, are different things. I like the hair. I like how punk it is up top. But I just wish that, like, I don't know. Wish that there was a little, like, the punk up top was more punk in the bottom. Like, she didn't have to do a gown. She didn't have to. I kind of wish that she'd done, like, a pant moment or something like that. Or, like, a grunge, like, maybe, like, chains and stuff. I don't know. This is a crunch. I apologize. Up next. Oh, I did take a picture of Irene's wings. Up next, Lydia Butthole Collins. I was going to talk about Mistress first, but she's the next one that popped up. Let's talk about Lydia Butthole Collins. Her challenge was good. No, it wasn't. Her runway was good. Let's talk about her runway first. This runway is giving me life. And I know it's just another bodysuit, but, like, it is alien, it is face hugger, it is just, like, exquisitely metal and fits Lydia's brand. And I think I finally understand who Lydia is as a, like, entertainer. That being said, her talent show. was so confusing. Why egg? Why Humpty Dumpty? Why any of this? I don't quite understand what she was trying to do, and the problem is that I don't think that she did either. She had reveals as the egg, but she couldn't get the reveals off. She was pulling at them. She was not really doing it correctly. I really think that she just dropped the ball today. It's a crunch. I'm sorry. It was really bad. If she'd come out as a butt and done like a butthole type situation, it would have been hilarious. RuPaul would have laughed his ass off. But considering she didn't, it is a crunch. And finally, we have Mistress Isabel Brooks. So this is her runway look. It is bad. I don't know what I'm looking at. It looks like Divine. She looks like Divine mixed with Thunderdome, mixed with, like, I don't know, but it just doesn't work. It's too busy. It's too much. And usually with Mistress, she usually is too much, but it's more of a in a pageant way. This is not pageant. This is kind of just meh. It's a crunch. And in the challenge, I like the idea of a Ruzempic ad, but I think that the issue is that it was kind of like the stand up comedy. It didn't go anywhere. I like when she lip sync really fast. I think that that's one of her strengths, but like, I mean, I'm, I don't care that much. Like, it just, if I'm sitting there at 5 a.m. and I've gotten laughs out of almost every single others, and then Lydia and Mistress come out and I'm just deadpan, or I start checking my phone, that's when you know I'm checked out. And listen, I don't like doing that because I like being in the moment, but I'm like, Miss Jackson, huh? Like, I'm just like, if I start spacing out because you're boring, I'm sorry. It's just not going to give what it needs to give. That being said, Mistress, otherwise, great entertainer, but this was a crunch. After the judges' critiques, we find out that Bosco won the challenge, which I agree with. I think that she did amazing. Though I would have kind of also given the win to Ginger here. I think that Ginger did great. But that being said, Ginger is one of the few queens with the distinction, along with Kiona Revlon of France Season 2 and Drag Sethless of Drag Race España Season 1 to have never placed below high in her season. She's one of 3 that has never done that. So, kudos to her. I'm very happy for Ginger Minj. I know everybody's gonna say, it's rigged. Oh, it's rigged. It was rigged for Drag Sethless and Kiona, too. Kiona got there based on merit, I believe, at least. But for Drag Sethless, you know, she placed high. Oh, and Lemon. Lemon also only placed below high. Never placed below high. And look, Lemon, well, it was also rigged for Lemon. And a lot of people called that out, but I didn't see nearly as many people call it out as much as I did with Ginger Minj going, oh, my foot, my foot. That's kind of an inside joke between my family and I, but it's from Dr. Dolittle. It's funny. The older version of Dr. Dolittle, not the one with Eddie Murphy. The one with Rex Harrison, which is also kind of racist. It does not work for 2020 time period. And if I may go on a little side tangent for a minute, I think that our generation is kind of too soft. You know, things that worked back in the day don't work now. I mean, like, yeah, there are reasons that they don't work. Hi, Seashell. She's like, I agree with you, because she's 15. She's like 96 in cat years. She's like, back in my day, Old Yeller got shot. Now he would get shots and then be good and live a long, happy life. there was that one thing about like where the red fern grows, and it's like that book killed me as a child. It was so sad. And Old Yeller, obviously, and Marley and Me and stuff. Now the dog's gotta live. Now, the dog's gotta live in the movie. The Titanic can't sink. No, no, no. We got the rapping dog from the Titanic now. If you have not seen that movie, please go look up Party Time. That's fucking hilarious. Anyway, our generation's a bit too, like, soft with all of that. Like, I think that Dr. Dolittle, yeah, it's a little racist, but, like, it's a classic movie. The Wizard of Oz, classic movie. Willy Wonka, classic movies. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff wrong with it, but, like, hey, I'm gonna show my kids these classic movies. I'm not gonna stop them from watching it because, and if they have questions, I'll explain it to them. But I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna make them. I'm not allowing them to watch Peter Pan or Dumbo because it depicts stereotypes in a negative way. That's what conversations are for, right? If I want my child to watch Dumbo, God damn it, I'm gonna do it, and then we're gonna talk about it and say, how those crows were portrayed? That's bad. We don't do that anymore, right? We have dignity for them, or in Peter Pan. That's not how Native Americans actually are, and this whole entire song is kind of bad. So don't do it, But like instead of having conversations, people would rather nowadays just put on only the good parts of Bambi, and leave their child to sit there by himself watching it without knowing that the mom dies or anything like that, or skip past the first part of Finding Nemo because the mom dies, we can't have that. Or, they'll pull up some Coco Melon bullcrap where they have to count the letters and the numbers and all that sort of stuff. And it's so repetitious that, like, your child's brain actually melts because they're not learning anything of value. I don't know. I don't have kids yet. I don't even know if I will ever have kids. But if I become a gunkle, which is a gay uncle, that kid will always have, like, will be cultured. He will be cultured. And when he's old enough, he or she is old enough, or they, or non-binary or trans or however, my brother and his wife ever want to raise them, they will be cultured. And when they're old enough, they're getting showed To Wong Fu and RuPaul's Drag Race. They don't have to like RuPaul's Drag Race, but that's going to be an option for them if they want it to be. They're going to have the option to watch sports movies. They'll have the option to do all that. And I'm not going to restrict anybody on what they can and can't do because, well, A, it's not my kid, but B, I don't think the world should be like that. I think that people should make their own decisions. Which is why it's so frustrating, at least, to be an American right now, because we kind of can't. I mean, I exercised my constitutional right to vote, and the person that I voted for lost. And now we're stuck with a president that really doesn't care about the American people. Unless they're in the top 1% bracket. Anyway, let's finish out this lip sync shenanigan. Lydia and Mistress are in the bottom two, and they got a lip sync to Guess by Charlie XCX. I'm gonna be completely honest here. Okay? I'm not a big Charlie XCX fan. Brat Summer did not affect me in the slightest. There's only so much that the apple can be rotten right to the core before I'm like, okay, well then get a new apple. Like, come on. The amount of people that live for Charlie XCX is great. I'm glad that she has a career. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of hers. So this song was mid. I'm sorry, it was kind of just a mediocre song for me at least. And I don't understand. I understand why RuPaul's Drag Race has to choose these songs because they're what's popular now. But I would rather RuPaul really get into the groove with something than watch, him try to fathom a Charlie XCX or Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, like song where it's like, huh, okay, yeah, like RuPaul lives for like Diana Ross and all of them, and I do too. So I'm hoping that next week's lip syncs there will be a good mixture of like maybe early 2000s hits. Um, I think we kind of know the gist of like the lip sync songs. Like there will be some early 2000s hits. I at least know "Raise Your Glass" is going to be on there, and I will be the first to admit. Funny story. My brother sang "Raise Your Glass" in front of my grandmother one time. And that image is seared into my brain um, exponentially because he said "panty snatcher" in front of my grandmother. Anyway, Lydia wins the lip sync and sends Mistress to the house, which is awesome. I feel like Mistress's whole entire vibe here was okay, I'm here. Time to cause chaos. And I just said, Dormammu, I want to bargain. And then Mistress went home because, honestly, yeah, this was probably the best outcome for Mistress. That being said, there's a chance that she can come back, right? So they have this wildcard bracket draw. I really wish that they had done this at the beginning of the merge. I really wish that it was somebody who didn't make the semifinals that got to make the semifinals. And I have seen. Well, first off, Carson Kressley didn't get to vote, which pisses me off. All four of them should have gotten to vote. But secondly, I have seen the amount of Twilight barking from the Denali stands. They were so mad that she didn't get picked. Forgetting them, they're like, she won a challenge. So did Tina fucking Burner. Nobody mentioned Tina Burner though. All y'all are like, Denali, meh. Denali, why? Why couldn't Denali have made it? It's cause they didn't want her to. Denali's personality was not necessarily fit for this season. I really wish that she had waited to be on All Stars until she could actually get somewhere because I knew the second that Denali was announced, every single fan that was a Denali fan that felt that she was robbed was immediately going to "Do you hear the people sing?" the second that Denali got eliminated. And they haven't disappointed with that, but it's annoying because every single other thing that I see online is Denali didn't make it. Because Carrie and Mistress are the only two that got put into the wildcard bracket. And this is why I think it's kind of bad, because everybody should have been put it back into the bracket. And then they should have spun it, and whoever it landed on. But Carrie has a 2-1 chance of actually being in there. So I'm going to guess that it's Carrie Colby. And if it is, Cynthia Lee Fontaine has made it to the 10th place every single season that she's landed on. Unless, of course, it's Mistress, in which case she actually moved up in the world. So what did you guys think? Leave your comments down below. Listen, I love Denali. I'm not trying to start anything. It's just annoying. Because everybody and their brothers just over here weeping below that Denali didn't even get a vote. And they said, what Carrie gonna do? What was Denali gonna do? She gonna come in and only lose again because it's clearly gonna be Ginger, Georges, Lydia, and Bosco. Those are the top 4 that I think deserve to be there. I mean, Irene did great, but she's kind of fizzling out. Aja did okay, but I don't think that she necessarily is doing the best in the competition right now. Diabetti did mediocre and then kind of just fizzled out by the end. And Carrie or Mistress, whichever one came back, they've already lost, so why would they crown them? So with Ginger, Lydia's the newest, Ginger's the oldest, Georges is one of RuPaul's favorites, and Bosco is the fans' favorites. So it's clearly going to be either one of the 4 of them, and I bet it's going to be Ginger or Georges. Because it's just, like, I bet it's going to be Georges. I'm not even going to get a win here. The thing about it is whenever somebody from who I like in a season wins, the queen that I don't want to win All Stars or the season wins. Like, Anya won, and I wanted her to win. So if I want Ginger to win, that means Georges is gonna win, or Bosco's gonna win. You know, like last year, I didn't want Nympphia to win. I wanted Saphira, but I wanted Angeria to win, and then she won. Sasha and Jimbo were kind of like back and forth. I kind of got what I wanted on both ends there, but like that's only happened once. You know, like I wanted Simone to win, she won, but I wanted Ginger to win, and Kylie won instead. It's just like, and so I didn't want Willow to win, but I wanted Jinx to win. So you know, it's the curse of me, of being me. Anyway, what did you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I've been Jake Ferguson. This has been too long of a damn video. I gotta go get ready for work. Bye, y'all.